All right, what's happening, everybody? Hope you guys are doing good. Sunday, got a Sunday show happening today. God damn. Let's see if this thing is live. It should be going live right now. Yo, what's up, Lloyd? What's happening, Reed? Hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Cheers. We've got a different kind of show today. And let's see, is this bitch running? Should be. There we go. Nice. All right, so
are you on YouTube there?
It's on YouTube right there.
Should I hop on Facebook or?
You can do whatever you want. I'll be able to see both. What's up, Joe? My nephew's on. Guys, thank you so much for joining in today. Kung Fu Fights, exactly. So I got a couple of folks on, a couple of buddies on today. It's a Sunday morning, basically bar fights and fitness is a new thing I'm trying out here. But these are a couple guys.
Why did you want to choose that name, bar
I have no
fights?
idea. I have no idea. I just was fucking throwing shit around.
Okay.
So originally it was like a fight companion, kind of doing something like that, talking about like BJJ, kind of.
Have you gotten in a bar fight before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
Yeah. So thanks again for joining us. The bar is open. Normally it's with Beth and Greg, but this is a little different for us today. Let's see. Just quit working in the attic. Nice. So go out and visit. The bar is open with Beth and Greg. This is where all of these are going to be kind of put under. And then I want to introduce a couple buddies of mine. So we've got Sammy Sandoval, and I've got Andrew Cortez with me. Sammy's a trainer at Your Fitness 365, which is the gym I actually go to. And then also BJJ, purple belt instructor over at Submission Concepts also. Yes, sir. And then we've got Andrew, who's bartender at the Safe House Drinkery and a lover of dogs is what I put on there.
Cheers.
Yeah. So, guys, tune in. If we're going to talk kind of a little different theme today because of a lot of shit kind of going on. There's a lot. Beth and I have brought this up a lot on our show. It's like the mental health kind of things that are happening, plus fitness and how we can look to that to try and kind of fucking get through some of that shit, right? Man, and that's really the thing. So
for sure.
Yeah. So first and foremost, how do you guys know each other?
You want to go first?
Yeah. So we met. I was working at Spectrum at the time, and I was going to school for physical therapy assistant. And one of the guys that I was working with at Spectrum, he goes, "Hey, they're needing a bar back." I was like, hey, let me get another extra job.
Yep.
Extra cash flow coming in. And it was at Gene Wine Bar over at Blanco in 1604.
Okay.
And he was already there bartending and bar backing. And so I started working there and met him. And just, I don't know, it was just click. You know what I mean?
Hit it off.
We're just homies, you're just homies right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty
good
rare.
Work ethic and hustle, like, all right, let's go, let's work.
Yeah, we're definitely the workhorse. We took over all that shit, man, and yeah, we it was love at first sight.
Nice.
Bromance.
Yeah, bromance for sure.
There was 2 rooms, and so one side was more like I would say proper upscale. You had
to dress up kind of shit.
Other room, you had a DJ and a drummer going on, DMG.
That's right.
Catwalk, right? Mm-hmm. Catwalk and DMG. And it's pretty neat, the duo. So you got 2 different rooms going on, and we would constantly have to go back and forth. Glassware, bottles, ice, trash, spill. Somebody fell on some glass or something. But always something going on.
Somebody having sex in the back or something like that.
Dude, yeah. I mean, like all walks of life coming through the door. Eventually, I went to somewhere else. He went somewhere else, and but always kept tabs, kept going. One thing I always do remember is throwing trash and smoking a bowl out back. He had an old.
Like, oops. Hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, he had an old Toyota Tacoma. I remember him punching the back of it just out of rage one time.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I was mad about.
Kind of fit into the fucking conversation we're gonna have.
But
sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely had a really, really bad anger problem back in the day, and for some reason I just thought it was a good idea to punch it. Like anybody, I think that everyone kind of goes through that.
How old do you think you were at this point?
I was 22, okay. So I was young, hot-blooded. And I didn't know how to channel my anger properly. So
shit,
yeah, yep. So, but Yeah, I've known him for X amount of years now, and like he said, we just clicked naturally. There's a lot of guys that I met through the bar industry, and there's a lot of fucking people that I wish I didn't meet. But that's just how it goes.
Right?
Yeah, and he's always been a good positive energy in my life. So
good. That's rad. That's awesome because I've got buddies like that too. I think it's a small core kind of group, like 4, 5, 6 maybe.
Right.
Buddies that are just, like tight.
I think it takes like time and experience to figure out, all right, who's really there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
who's
100%.
just passing through, you know
right?
what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the and it's so. Like I've moved all over the country. My buddies have moved all over the country. Same deal. And it's like, but the cool thing is, as soon as we get back together, it's like fucking. Like, we didn't miss a beat.
Never skip a beat. Yeah.
We're always in contact. I have fucking Facebook call, whatever it is, or FaceTimes or whatever, or just phone calls or texting bullshit, and constantly bullshitting. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of.
Why did you travel all over?
So, Marine Corps brat. So first and foremost, I was Marine Corps. My dad retired in New Hampshire. I'm from New Hampshire originally. Like my family's from New Hampshire, which very small town in New Hampshire. My nephew's actually on right now. Who's in the Coast Guard? He's on in the chats. He's
What's up, sir?
He's down on Nantucket Island. He's stationed out there. But
nice.
So shout out to you, dude. But that's just where we're from. And then being a Marine Corps brat, we traveled all over the place. Right, every 3 years we'd move to a completely different place across the country or some other fucking place. And then my dad retired. We ended up back in New Hampshire, so in my hometown, in Hampton, and that's where, like at 12, 13 is where I met these guys, and they were like right in the center of town. Like we were the crew all through high school, and again, these are 30-year relationships I've had with these guys at this point. Then I moved out of there because it's a very small town. I wanted to get the fuck out, and I went to Phoenix, Arizona, and go to ASU. So I went to Arizona State with a girlfriend at the time, and her parents definitely helped me out back then. Place to live, helped me with school, get all the shit dialed in. And then since then, it's been work where I've worked forever, and we've moved. I lived in Phoenix off and on for 20 years, moved to Colorado Springs, back to Phoenix, and now here.
Yeah.
Here we moved ultimately because Beth's dad's older. We just wanted to be close to him, You
Right.
only get so many more years. He's
Yep.
86.
Did you train with any of these guys? I know you did Taekwondo.
No. Literally, like, in all
train?
these years.
They don't train? Any of
No,
your
all
buddies?
these years, since I was a little kid, I've never lived in the same state as any of them. Like, we
Crazy.
just always go back together. Like, when we lived in Phoenix, that's kind of the telltale of like, keeping your core group together. Like, we would go out to California and meet up with buddies, right? And we'd spend a week and hang out. Or, like, we were just in Florida a month ago or something, spending time with them. You know what I mean? With one of my buddies, Brian. And I think that's important. Like, we need to have that backing from our friends. Like, hey, you need to be able to fucking push. You have questions. You're like, fuck them down.
Yeah.
Something's going on, whatever it is.
For sure.
Just to get stress out, you know? And I think, so going in, a lot of the conversation today is going to be, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're right at the end of the month. Well, kind of. We got a week left. But Andrew wanted to bring that up. But Sammy also has, background as far as in the physical training, those sorts of things. And I think they go hand in hand. They really, really do. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's jump into this. Go ahead.
So a big part of the Mental Health Awareness Month is one of the guys that's partnered up with Sheath. He wanted to set up some type of, he wanted to link up together with me, and he reached out, and we got a bike ride going. So next Sunday we got a bike ride for mental health awareness. Obviously, when you couldn't find any bikes when quarantine hit,
right,
you know
dude?
what I mean?
You couldn't find anything.
Man, I got my buddy Jay that I ride with him still to this day, and man, like he was just, I mean, he's in the bar industry too. Andrew knows him too, and he knows how he is. Like, he's not coked out, but he seems like he's coked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he seems like he just
a lot of energy.
He get a fresh bump in the back or something.
Yeah, man. So, but he reached out to me, and like, he goes, man, I just basically started riding, and I don't need alcohol. I mean, now I reintroduced it into my life, he says, but I mean, now it's just, I don't need it. Like,
It's not a dependency anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
His bike is
exactly.
his focus.
He's in the industry. Like, he's working this spot, that spot. Right now, he's at Sugars. Before, he was at 1, 2, 3 different spots. And,
Okay.
And so, I mean, when you're just in that lifestyle, man, like I give it up to Andrew, bro, because when he's there at work, you're surrounded by everything, dude. All these different temptations, all these different people that you come through.
For sure. Yeah, I imagine. I can only imagine. I've never worked in a bar personally. I've been to a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
It's like 44, so I've been to all of them.
I'm pretty much a walking talking sponge, you know. And we'll get into more of that later, you know, as we get into it. But
yeah, right on.
But yeah.
He's come a
That's
long
good.
way, man.
That's awesome.
He's
Right
come
on.
a long way, man.
So
For sure.
over the past, so this is just kind of a general question, right? Like over the past few months as we've been coming out of this bullshit pandemic thing, right? Like how's shit been working for you? Like you're in the bar industry. Obviously the bars are starting to open back up, right? Which is good. You know, we need people to get back to work and start fucking.
Yeah. You know, it was a first off, it was, you know, we were the, and I can speak for all service industry and say that we were the first people to get shit canned, and then we were the last people to come back to work.
Yeah.
You know, that's politics. You know, I don't get into that shit, but I'm just happy to be back, and you know, it was a fucking roller coaster for sure. You know, going from, you know, the restrictions at 25% capacity, social distancing, trying to maintain, you know, health code, as far as also maintaining, you know, TABC regulations, and Vice being in our ass.
And the food license.
Having to.
Oh, because you had to be able to.
reopen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
So what'd you guys end up doing for that? You get food trucks or some shit?
we ended up doing like pizzas and like and popcorn and chips and shit. You know, it's crazy, man. We tried actually, you know, for the business that I run, we did everything in our power to stay on, you know, on regulations and maintain all that. I mean, we were to the T strict. That's why, you know, so, you know, I had to deal with all these, you know, people
I remember
coming
you posting
in.
shit like, do not fuck with my bar.
Yeah, people coming
right?
in and fucking pissed off about the mask, and you know, I'm like, dude, I have to fucking work with this thing on, you know, the whole entire time. I sweat like a motherfucker as it is. So naturally, you know, you guys just, you know, if you have to wear it to and from the bathroom, and you know, don't bitch about it, you know, just fucking do it, you know.
Right.
And it was definitely like herding cats. That's the best way to
especially people
compare it.
getting hammered or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
then, you know, they
it's
get
worse as the
lenient.
night
Yep.
goes or whatever. Yeah, I can only
Yep.
imagine.
So
How's
you
the
know.
gym been for you? Like, I mean, I've been at the gym the whole time pretty much. So it definitely, from what I see, it's picked up, which is fucking good. Like training, like jiu-jitsu, it's picked up.
Yeah, definitely for sure. On the martial arts side, things have definitely picked up. People are definitely coming out of the caves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's starting to open up now. People are getting vaccinated and whatever the case may be, but there's definitely been a paradigm shift to where it's switched to more, all right, we're health conscious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fact that we're 24/7 eliminates like the time factor of like, oh, I don't have time to do this stuff.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Like,
So-
you can always get in there at some
Yeah,
fucking
so
point.
it kind of, for me, it translates to jiu-jitsu.
Mhm.
All right, I got a different type of person coming in. They can get in here. They just have to show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no hours. Like,
Right.
come in 24/7, but all you got to do is show up now. And so I'm like, all right, who do I have in front of me? Why are they here? Where did they come from? What type of knowledge they coming in with?
Yeah.
So a lot of it's been like figuring out what the community needs, and a lot of it's just a little bit of guidance. To be honest, it's a little bit of guidance, man.
Right.
Like, show me what to do, and we want to give you
Help you
autonomy.
with the path. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we want to give you autonomy over your health. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you decide whether.
You're
gonna-
comfortable doing whatever.
Exactly, whether you're going to come in today, whether you need to take a rest break. You know your body more than anyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, Coach John and Crystal, Daisy, Alec, and Kane, they all got the Whoop band. And they kind of, it's funny because they'll be like, oh, man, he's got more recovery than me.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
he's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
strength
That's
than
why you
me.
guys are all wearing that fucking thing.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Shout outs
wear
to
it,
Whoop.
but I got the watch, and like, okay, like for me, I've done the HRV thing and the heart rate variability, the app and the chest strap, and I've been able to like figure out my patterns that
Mhm.
are causing me to not recover.
I never think of recovery.
I don't either.
Ever. Not ever.
Man, like,
I mean, I try.
everyone likes to train hard, but no one likes to
I went on
recover.
vacation for a week, and I swear to God, I had more anxiety because I wasn't working, because I just had nothing to fucking do.
Yeah. I feel like
I was like, I need to do something.
I'm the same way.
You know, like I'm always going.
I'm the same way.
And until, I mean, literally like at 10 o'clock tonight, I'll sit down and fucking kick it on the couch with, or 9 maybe, something like that. Kick it on the couch with Beth.
So that's the thing. Figuring out those patterns are like, all right, what am I doing that's causing me to not recover and potentially be injured?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
I got knee and ankle, and like right now, my neck is giving me a little issues coming off an open mat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're talking about it in the car right now. But you eventually figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like over time, experience, consistent time, putting in like that skill acquisition. Am I getting better? Yes or no? You know
Right.
what I mean? But man, everyone's been doing their part. Like I love it. I love the members that we have. I love the team.
That's,
that we
I
have.
think the team is, so it goes back to being buddies, like, especially with the Whoop band thing or whatever it is holding each other accountable. And,
Sure.
you know, and being accountable yourself, right?
Strength
Say,
in numbers.
If you want to do this, right, fucking sign up, whatever, you know, it's like, even with like jiu-jitsu, I only do it a couple times a week, and it's more just an outlet for me, right? You know, I'm not chasing anything or whatever. I just have fucking go in there and I have fucking fun, right? Normally I come home, some sort of fucking something hurts, right? Like my neck, like
Arms.
like my neck, my
Elbows.
my tendons and shit, right? There's always something, and Beth's like,
Wrist.
what'd you do now? What'd you fucking do now? Or I sit on the couch. Again, I'm 44. Like, I'm not exactly young, right? Sit on the couch, and I fucking get up, and I'm like, you know, it's hilarious. So, all right, let's get into some of the mental health awareness month stuff. That's again, one of the bigger topics that I want to do. And one of the cool things is you reached out to me to do this, which was different than I asked some people to come on or talk about it, and I kind of have a plan for that. But you reached out to me, which is, I think, is good. And in the sense that, you know, because it is May is Mental Health Awareness Month, I think that's important. And after all the bullshit that we've been going through for the past year and a few months at this point, it's like, dude, everybody's in a different position or in a different spot nowadays, right? So, you know, Andrew, why is it important to you? Like, what happened, or what kind of drove you to want to talk about this? Or you go ahead, yeah.
Can I start with something?
Sure, absolutely.
Earlier, before we started, you asked him, Andrew, you have depression.
Yeah.
And first thing in my head is like, don't take ownership of that. Don't take ownership that, like, at some point you're going to have to let it go. But at the same time, like, I've never had to deal with any of that. So, like, I don't know what it is to feel that way or have those types of feelings to where that anxiety kind of comes up and things like that. But for me, like, I try and be in tune as possible with my emotions and my spirit and the physical. Everything all ties into each other.
Yeah. But
I don't know what it feels to actually, like, go through it. So I can only say stuff, but, like, for me, when you said that earlier, I'm like, no, man, like, don't take ownership. Don't.
And that's okay. So that's a good perspective of it. But there is a particular ownership that you have to take care of yourself.
sure.
That's where I have to, like, hang back
Right.
and figure out.
So, and I'll get into this in a minute, but kind of going back through, just how did you identify it, or what's important to you about it? You know what I mean? About sharing the message.
You know, as first off, you know, it's extremely important. You know, growing up, I've always had it. I always felt different. You know, I had a lot of what I didn't know was anxiety at a young age. There's a lot of negative thoughts I had, and just at a young age. You know, I got bullied when I was a kid.
Okay.
You know.
Also a skateboarder.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when, at a young age, I had the fucking hair. I had,
Alternative kind of guy.
I had the bowl haircut when I was a, fucking kid. I had the cankles, and my mom, dressed me up and
all the shit that we all went through.
Yeah, for sure. And I started, I never really necessarily had a good childhood. My dad never being there, and my mom tried, she really tried to do both ends of it,
Yeah.
So naturally, having a sister too, my my mom was gravitating towards her, and so I had a lot of demons at a young age. That I had no idea. I never expressed my emotions or feelings. I never knew what they were. I didn't know what was acceptable and what wasn't, because I didn't have a father figure around. Yeah. And it kind of, we started therapy at a young age, me and my sister, and automatically I thought that I was different because of, us having to go through, therapy and whatnot. So naturally, I just felt like an outcast. I got into skateboarding because it helped me cope with a lot of those feelings. I didn't need to hang out with anybody. I had my little group, but I was always a kid by myself skateboarding. I'm a huge introvert, like huge. As I got in the bar
on the show and talk about this, then
it's
important.
So getting older, it never really fixed itself. It got worse and worse, and as I got older and got experimented with, just drugs and women and just the typical bullshit. Mm-hmm. It kind of enhanced it. There's you go through like your first breakup and your first real breakup and all that shit, and it just gets really bad from there. For me, it did, and fast forwarding to 20, 21, 22, having a lot of alcohol and drugs and whatnot mixed in with it, it just fucking amped it up.
It was the perfect.
Mm-hmm. So,
freedoms.
I just had.
Yeah, you get a little older, you're out partying, hanging out, doing whatever.
Yeah. My depression was at not at an all-time high at that point, but it was just, I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just day by day,
Do you feel like it was building up?
I think I was just trying to kind of like, I felt like, and I still feel like this at times, but I felt like I was on a canoe and it was just like a fucking, there's a leak and I was just dumping water just enough to just keep on going. Next day, dumping water, scraping, cutting it out slowly but slowly, and so I think that at some point when I was 24, or 25, I think that was just when I first time I ever hit rock bottom, and did some, just was ready to end it all, did some shit. I won't get into specifics, but ended up my buddy Chris, I just said, I'm gonna end my, I want to end my life. I let my buddy Chris know, and he fucking rushed over. This is like at 3:30 in the morning. And I also wasn't in my right mind, I was fucking, had ate like 3 Xanax and was fucked up and, had, my firearm on me and so then he he fucking, busted the door down pretty much, scooped me up, grabbed me, fucking slapped the shit out of me and then took me to the hospital. And at that point you're on suicide watch. So you're, this is all fucking new to me. And, you have SAPD there and, they open the curtains, they strap you. It's a surreal feeling. And at that point, Xanax is really taking over. So I was just I was in and out, I remember my sister being there, showing up. And I just remember the look on her face, and she's just mortified, and for me, that was a surreal, things got real. And so, they do all that. They take you upstairs to the psych ward. I was at Methodist Specialty and Transplant. And I just remember right before going out, there's this gentleman that was staying in the ward, and he was, comes up to me, and as I'm strapped in the bed, he's just grabbed my hand. He said, everything's gonna be all right. Things can always be worse, man. You're gonna get through this, and God has a plan for you. And I just remember closing my eyes and then waking up. Fuck, I don't even know. Like probably like 8, 9 hours later, 10 hours. And at that point, you know, I had to stay there for a while and, you know, like a week and see the horrors of what mental, you know, just mental disorder, like the depression, or there's a lot of stuff going on in there, you know, very extreme. And at that point I told myself, you know, it took a while for me to really register what was going on. And, you know, not being able to talk to anybody, you can't have your cell phone.
Down,
yeah. You're on lockdown.
Yeah.
They pump you with drugs, you know. Funny side story is that when they gave me trazodone and then they gave me I think the Risperdal, and I remember years later I saw one of those infomercials saying, have you been, you know, prescribed Risperdal? If so, you're compensated because, you know, so and
some fucking log.
Yeah, they ended up finding out that, and I could be wrong about this, and I don't know how accurate it is, but it gives you tits pretty much, you know. So
man boobs. Yeah,
and I'm glad that you know I took the medication for probably a week when I got out, and then I said fuck that. After that, you know, it made you feel, you know, like a walking, talking zombie.
Yeah. And
fuck you, Big Pharma. But you know, it's you know, it was a gnarly experience. And
thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of people, maybe not to that extent, but there are definitely people out there that go through this. Like with like veterans, and there's a lot of different, you don't just have to be a vet to go through a trauma thing. There can be traumatic shit that happens in your life, and just shit piles up, right? And that can happen. And thanks for sharing that, because I think a lot of people still, even though we're kind of in this social media world and bullshit and all that, they're either afraid to talk about what's happening in their life, or they don't have somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Right? And I think just getting your story out there and telling kind of, hey, dude, there is another side. Like, you can come through it.
Yeah.
Right?
And as males, you know, I encourage everyone, don't be afraid to talk about, you know, your feelings. No one's going to call you a pussy or anything like that. It's not going to make you less of a man. I think that it's a taboo, you know, especially as
strong fucking whatever.
It goes back to your core people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Back to your core team. Like, who do you have around you? Can I trust this person?
Right.
If I open my mouth, are they going to tell other people? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like,
there's got to be a certain level of you know, confidence in those people.
Yeah, and it, in my line of work, man, you know, like how I referred to it as you know, bartenders, we're sponges, man. Like, and that's what people don't understand. So I still deal with, you know, like depression, anxiety. Some days are better than others,
Sure.
but you know, for me, it's like, you got to remember, for people that have never been in the bar industry or never served, you know, alcohol to fucking patrons, man, you're a therapist, you know, and
People come in and just fucking drown their sorrows,
you know, so
you know how they
the
call it
glass.
spirits, right?
Yeah.
You know why they call it
Why?
spirits?
Because you're letting your spirits out, the bad spirits.
In a sense, yeah. When people get a little tossed, and you start to, like,
yeah.
there's a little bit more of a
They share.
yeah, like the
Liquid courage.
My walls down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, you share things.
Yeah.
And when you share things, like, you're putting it out there almost, I don't want to sound too woo woo, but you're putting it out there in the universe. You know,
Right.
You're kind of manifesting it in a sense. And so when he has to listen to
You have to be bartender / counselor.
Yeah, and I know, and I talk to a lot of patrons, man, and you know, I see a lot of people that go through the thick, and so
that's why they're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck it. It's
Yeah.
easy to just get hammered every night. Fucking
And
forget about your problems.
yeah, and you know, and I it makes me appreciate my journey and how far I've come, and it also makes me appreciate just being able to talk to people and let them know it's going to be all right. Now, whether they believe it or not, you know, it's a hard thing, man.
That's where the owning it
It's
comes
like
in, right?
that's yeah,
I mean,
that's
you
yeah,
have to
that's like you can't you can
nobody else can force you to do anything.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
So one of the things is like Beth and I, we talk all the time about like, because that's one of the, even after jiu-jitsu, it's 9:30 by the time I get home from getting food, or it's 9 o'clock, whatever. And we eat dinner every single night together, right? It's kind of like our thing. We sit down at the table and we eat dinner every night.
What time?
Just depends. Like after the show, it could be 10:30 at night, right? If it's on a Wednesday, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, we're eating dinner, right?
Who cooks?
Depends on what we cook. Beth normally is doing most of the cooking nowadays. So, but sorry, my email is going crazy over here, and I forgot to shut it down. So, one of the keys with us talking is being very, very open about kind of like what's going on. Like we talk about work, we talk about stresses, right? And Beth's talked about it on our show. Is we are like she's got a biological depression. Like she has to take medicine to help her with her depression, right? Because she'll have these kind of ups and downs, right? And it's been like that forever. And it's something that we talk about on a regular basis, because if we don't talk about it, all of a sudden she'll just be like, I'm anxious.
Yeah.
Like she's having a fucking super anxious, weird day or something like that. And I think just acknowledging that and having each other to talk to kind of helps to, you got to get it out there. You have to get it out there.
And it's funny is that, I know so many, that's a beautiful thing if you can be able to talk to one another, especially if you're in a relationship. Communications, it's, 90% of it, and I think it's important, even if it's not your significant other, somebody. Yeah. I luckily, like I said, I have this guy, I have, I got two other friends of mine that go through the thick and, that won't judge me and realistically, what I learned was, it was, I had a lot of friends that committed suicide because, they were unhappy. Some of them I'll never understand because I didn't get to talk to them. Yeah. And it came out of nowhere, and
They were hanging on to all that.
Yeah,
everything.
and they were the happiest, outside. They're the happiest people, I have friends that are veterans that, same thing, and
it's easy to put up a good front, right? I mean,
it's
not easy, but
it's always the happiest, the like comedians, like.
I say they're the saddest people on the inside kind of thing, right? That's where they get some of the comedy from, right?
Yeah, that's where they get their, yep.
Yeah, so I'm definitely a big proponent of counseling. Like so my brother died when I was like 12 or something like that. I jumped into counseling, but I also, same deal. Like,
how did he pass?
He was in a car accident.
Okay.
And so he's my older brother, my oldest brother. But that kind of started a lot of shit. But I was a skateboarder. I did these things, and me and my next older brother, Joe, we talked, he was kind of doing his own thing. He had some challenges, some issues, certain things like that, right? And moving all over the country and doing different things. It was a challenge, right? Mm-hmm. So when we got back to New Hampshire, we did the same thing as every other high school kid. You start drinking beers, having keg parties out in the woods and doing those sorts of things. That was normal. But anytime, I've always kind of said this, is like, I've gone to counseling, on my own when years and years and years ago, it was right around the time I started working for the company I work for now, I was like, fuck it, I need to go. I just needed somebody to talk to, right? And so if anything, there's ways to reach out to counselors, like professionals that do the shit. And one of the fucking funniest things was, like, the dude was like, have you ever lived on your own? I'd never lived on my own. I'd always had a girlfriend that lived with me with or another roommate or something like that. And it was just trying to reframe your life and kind of think about it in a different way, right? So, that definitely helped me. Even, like I said, the dinner table talk is, if one of us thinks, hey, we need to talk to a pro, fucking do it. There's no problem with that, right? I think.
So when he asked you if you ever lived on your own, how long did you live on your own?
For a year. Just a year. And then I met Beth, and then we moved in there shortly thereafter.
How was that year for you?
It was a big party is what it was. It was fun. No, it was awesome. I mean, it was a lot of growth. Like, I rode my mountain bike every single day kind of thing. I'd get home from work and ride my mountain bike, and I just do shit for myself, And then we'd hang out, and it became like a little fun little party pad kind of thing.
And is that's what's up, because that's another thing is that, I guess my advice is if you're going through the thick anxiety, depression, try to find something that you enjoy, and it may not be something that you want to do at the first couple of times, like read a book or
something different,
or do some Wim Hof breath work. Shout out to Wim Hof.
Part of training, man.
Go train, go lift, go fucking sit in a sauna, go for a walk, go thrift, pick up a pencil and draw or something.
Just do something.
Mm-hmm.
Distract yourself a bit, maybe.
But you had what you had to do, you had to reframe, like you said, you had to reframe how you lived. And reframe is just another term for I gotta train myself to
do something different.
Yeah, do something different. Same thing over here. I gotta train differently. I gotta figure out. I gotta adapt to the situation. What's in front of me? What do I have? We go to the mats. You know what I mean? Like, all right, cool. I'm in a squat fold position, and that pressure's all on my rib cage. Like,
right.
Cool. All right. How am I
how do I deal with this shit? The first time it sucks.
Yeah.
Second time it still sucks. The third time it's not quite so bad.
Yeah. You have Coach Dave on you, knee on belly, or his top pressure, and you're literally
it sucks.
You literally want to tap just from his pressure, and like you feel like you're under a fucking bus.
Right.
We're
and you just deal through it. Yeah.
So he came by to open mat. Just kind of Coach John was there, and Crystal was hanging out too, and conversation came up with the Whoop band and things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was recovery and the HRV, and he was asking questions like, well, why does it? How do you feel about it, or how do you feel you recover? And just kind of picking it apart a little bit. Like it forced you to examine. What am I doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I?
How can I improve the situation?
Exactly.
How can I? Yeah.
What am I really doing? You know what I mean? Am I just kind of just going through the motions and doing, just kind of throwing shit out there and see what happens, see what sticks, or all right, cool. Like, what's the purpose? Is there a purpose behind it?
Right.
Like,
Absolutely, 100%.
For sure.
So that's kind of like anything, like from work, from professional life. So I know. One of the big challenges that kind of we went through was, like, Beth and I was related to her work a while back, right? And she had some leaders are better than others, right? And that can happen a lot. And that was a major stressor on her at one point, right? Now her current leader is fucking rad, right? But a couple times or a while back, wasn't quite that same person, right? But I think it comes down to leadership and people helping to guide you and being good at what they fucking do, right? Because you don't want to necessarily go coach or go train with somebody that's just going to fucking beat the living shit out of you without telling you what they're doing and why they're doing it. There's purpose and principle behind a lot of the stuff. And I think that comes to like a mental health, like a rehabilitation kind of mindset is training. And you were talking about it also. It's the recovery portion of it, right? Because you have these manic episodes, but you've got to recover. You have to take care of yourself in the end. It's like that with a lot of things, right? When you think about it, you have to fucking be able to give yourself time. You have to be able to heal, and
Yeah, and I never knew. He's always been training for a long time for grip. And I remember right when I first started jiu-jitsu, he said, well, jiu-jitsu is going to translate into everything. Your time on the mats to life off the mats. And it just, now I just kind of understand it, that it clicks, because recovery from, training or whatnot, and having that mentality of, well, okay, what worked on the mats, and what worked for me, and what it doesn't work. What works for me off the mats and what doesn't work. So, should I
navigating through whatever situations at hand?
Pull that mic close.
Navigating through pain that I might be having through my body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having someone guide you to figure out, okay, how can I navigate through my life, my current situation, to grow. How can I learn more about myself, what I'm capable of?
Right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like,
that's one of the things. It's like, again, I started.
You don't know what you don't know.
Taekwondo for 10 years.
So when did you start? When did you start Taekwondo?
I was like 30-ish, something like that.
Okay.
You got them kicks.
Right? And then I did that for like 10 years. And then when I moved here, the closest one out of that school, like Tiger Rock Academy, is like way over in Bernie. And I was like, I'm not fucking driving to Bernie in this traffic and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then I found the Your Fitness 365, and I saw that, Submission Concepts was right there. And starting a new thing at 42 years old, starting a new skill and trying, I'd had a little bit of experience and exposure through Taekwondo. Like the master that worked there, he's a 9th degree. He'd go and learn a little bit and then bring it back and learn a little bit and bring it back. So I knew a little tiny bit, but not true BJJ. Like it was kind of a side gig, right? If you would.
Yeah.
But not being afraid to jump into something new. And that's kind of one of the things that I always I challenge like my wife to. Like, try something different. She goes to a different gym because she likes the boot camp kind of workouts and shit like that.
I remember when she first came in.
Yeah. And, I think that's what I've always been a person that's like, I try and challenge myself to new things. Like, fucking run or work out or do whatever. Like, doing a podcast, creating a fucking podcast from the ground up and trying to figure out how to do this shit, right?
Trial and error.
And that's really what it comes down to. So, again, it comes back to, how do we manage the challenges that are put in front of us, like through a fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
What do? Like, I built the goddamn gym up here with some weights and a fucking flat bench until we could get back into doing things, right? And how do you handle the adversity that comes to you now? Like, so what would you say? How did you, like you said, you've mentioned that it's still kind of a daily kind of thing, you acknowledge, but how have you helped, what's helped to manage that? And kind of, Sammy, maybe you can chime in for like training people and doing those things as well.
Well, for me, we did a Wim Hoff seminar, I think about, year and a half, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I was just about to. That was the first thing I was going to say. It's just
really
breath work.
Breath work, yeah. And it sounds.
Why is that a thing? I know I've heard of Wim Hoff, of course. He's the dude that gets in the fucking ice tubs and shit like that.
Yeah, man, he climbed Mount Everest with
without oxygen,
short shorts and boots.
Yeah, it's
no shirt.
Crazy shit.
I mean, the basic principle of it was, what they said was, what happens when you get into fucking cold ass waters?
Right.
You start
ventilate.
start hyperventilating, and then your central nervous system goes into shock, and then your brain starts going fucking haywire. And so, what is that in stressful situations? Just diaphragmic breath.
Similar.
Yeah, it's crazy, and there's so much science behind it.
It's your nervous system. It's your fight or flight.
Yep. I was just gonna say your fight or flight, right?
Am I getting chased by a lion, and like the chest breathing, heavy breathing, or is it calm, cool, collect?
How do you deal with the stressful situations?
Yeah, the rest and digest side of your nervous system. So am I in a heightened state? Is it bad stress? All right, cool. All right, is it good stress? All right, how can I navigate through good and bad stress? And really just training the brain and spinal cord. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, it's back to training. It's part of training. Yep. All right, can I navigate through this? Yes or no? Am I getting stronger, better through this? Did I recover from the day before? Yes or no? It's just figuring out like
Wim Hoff.
So you're hyper-oxygenating the body. You get blood flow to
every part of
the entire system. Yeah, and then you have your retention time, and the retention time kind of builds the more you kind of practice it. But for me, what I've noticed is the mental clarity. The recovery, yes, but the mental clarity, just having a just extra clear mindset.
Okay.
Coming into a new situation, if I got a heavy heart or just my head's just going off the wall or something, I'm like, all right, let me just get like. There's a YouTube. My girl Shireen, she has a 10-minute YouTube video. I just put the 10 minutes on, lie back, get my breath work in for 10 minutes.
Is it kind of like meditating a little bit?
Yeah, and you start. I mean, it's almost like a fucking. You get high on your.
I've seen it. I've heard it.
It's almost like getting high on your own supply, like a DMT trip. Yeah, we had the seminar, and I remember.
Send out those signals.
Yeah,
like a slight.
We got in there, and I forget the name of it, but Serene said it was you get T-Rex hands. Yeah, some people will. So through the rounds we were doing, my hands, and I was in just deep breath work. Your hands start like clenching, doing that like T-Rex, and I go, Holy shit! Yeah, if it was the fucking gnarliest, one of the your toes too. You start doing that
From getting oxygen in your body.
Yeah, and I was like,
okay. Method.
And I was just like, oh my God. But she said, don't freak out. Just keep breathing.
You'll be able to use
keep
your hand
going. And then, and after, I just during this breath work, I start seeing like stars and I start seeing like just like fucking
like you're tripping.
Geological.
Like a slight shroom trip.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. It was like a what's the word?
Hallucinating.
Enlightenment.
Yeah, like microdosing mushrooms,
But it's you have the power already. You know what I mean? Like it's just my breath. I'm just breathing a certain way.
Yeah.
And I'm able to get to a certain state.
It's interesting shit.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So I'll put the 10-minute. I call it a snack. It's my. I have mobility snacks.
Okay.
And I also have my breathing snacks. I get my breath work in. Quick snack throughout the day. And I usually get this one in. It's a 10-minute block after sessions or whenever I just feel an extra, like, all right, I just need a quick breathing session in real quick.
Okay.
And it's important too. I'll get mine after a stressful night at work. You come home with just all the negative
decompress and
all the negative energy. There's shit popping up. There's fights. Or not, there's just bullshit, asshole customers, kind of. Had some dickhead yesterday night, like just, he was slamming it, just some people just don't have etiquette, and then he's just slamming his bottle down on the bar top, like to get my attention, like, bah, bah, bah. And I'm like, it's not the way it goes, my guy, and I'm like, hey man, chill out, you can't be doing that, you could break a bottle on your damn hand, you dumbass, like, and so you get home and you're just like, you're trying to find a way to decompress, and there's no better way than, for me,
Then just doing the breathing.
Smoke a bowl and breathe.
After we get done with the show, we'll share some shit out. I'll have you send me some links, and I'll share it out with the crowd.
My girl Shireen Yusuf, she's out of Houston.
Okay.
And she came down for a workshop the first time at the gym. It was probably a couple years back. But when my mom was going through her battle with cancer, it eventually spread to her lungs.
Okay.
And so it was colon cancer, but it spread to her lungs. And there was a short time where she couldn't. It was rough to breathe.
Yeah.
And so from then I kind of started deep dive in, and then I heard.
Like how can you? What are alternatives to help?
Exactly. Yeah. And then came across Joe Rogan, and he had Wim Hoff on there, and then the method came up. And, through the Onnit Academy, who I'm certified through,
right.
I met Shireen there at a filming that we did one time in Austin, and she's from Houston. She came by. I'm like, man, I really need you to come down here and
do a seminar. Yeah,
just do a workshop, a seminar, and just her dropping the knowledge, her perspective of it, hearing her story on like how she met Wim Hoff and just the story behind it and how it's affected her life, but all the other people that she's able to affect.
That's really cool. It's fucking rad. It's something that's completely alternative, and that's
sharing the gift.
Yeah, so it's just alternative to what I've ever known.
Yeah,
like, I work out. I go for a run. I do whatever. I fucking do the machines. I lift weights.
Yeah,
martial arts.
Yeah, some people would think of it as like they're like, oh, that's hippie bullshit. You know what I mean? But
I think we're kind of past that phase. We had a story the other day that on the Bars Open with Beth and Greg show. I think it was Friday. I think it was, and yoga just got like allowed back into schools in Georgia.
Yeah,
you can't say namaste. You can't do any mantras.
You can't meditate or something like that. Yeah, I just read that yesterday
like,
too.
What
it's crazy.
The fuck, right? And like, I think we should be smart enough to be past that kind of shit. But there's still people out there.
It's kind of in the past where like, all right, taking the Pledge of Allegiance out and can't pray anymore.
There's just a lot of shit going on.
Just the evolution of things.
On the boards on the chats out here said he microdoses ketamine and it's worked amazing for him. So there's certain things like that you do and it can help certain things, but like the DMT thing, I've never done any of that, of course, personally.
DMT either.
But I know like there's a lot of kind of science going around behind it. I know some states are, changing their laws and stuff like that are allowing that to kind of go through like mushrooms or whatever. God bless you.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So yeah, no worries. So let's jump over to kind kind of shifting to the exercise. Let's focus on that a little bit more because I think that's one of the most important parts. If I don't work out like 4 or 5 times a week, I'm a dick. Like it builds up in me. Like I'll work out we used to have a gym right over here beside all this shit, and now I moved to another room in the house. But even if I just need like 30 or 40 or 50 minutes or an hour, like if I go to the gym, it's an hour or 2, right? If I'm working out and doing jiu-jitsu, I'll also do like some workout before. It helps me in my headspace, and I guarantee Beth can confirm this. Like I just get edgy and antsy, and I can't sleep, and I already can't sleep that well anyway. So I mean, kind of jump in like. So you're certified trainer. Are you certified? Yeah, you're certified through On It. You said
On It Academy, the unconventional barbell, steel club, steel mace flow, and then just putting my time in on the mats, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm a purple belt, but man,
all of us don't know everything, of course.
Yeah,
There's always learning.
But
yeah.
it's just me putting my time in with Coach John, learning the system, learning the technique. But I mean, there's also the character development. Coach John promotes off character and how you carry yourself and,
right.
and things like that. So again, it's all part of training. Like, it all translates.
Cool, right?
And off the mats, yeah.
Right.
Like for me, everything is jiu-jitsu, dude. Everything is jiu-jitsu, to be honest. When you go like, all right, we wanted to shift to the exercise portion, but it ties back into the training.
Your regular life.
I'm
right.
training my brain and spinal cord on a physical level, but physiologically, there's chemicals that get spread out through the body where, all right, cool, I'm doing something good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a feel-good kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's the dopamine drops or whatever it is, the endorphins and shit.
I was walking around downtown, and there's a place, I guess they do the sauna and things like that, but it said sweat equity. And my buddy Mijo, hey guys, I got to put my sweat deposit in for the day. Like, get out there and sweat, dude.
Yep.
Get out there and sweat. Put your time in, put your reps in. I tell people when they come to the gym, we never close, so time should
There's
be a
always
factor.
some time. I don't give a fuck if you're in the middle of the night and you're like, I'm stressed out or
Everyone's
something.
got the same
365.
amount of hours in the
Yep.
day, dude. Feel alive at 365. As cliche as it sounds, like this is your gym. We want to give you autonomy over your health, so let's figure out how we're going to do it. Let's adapt, figure out what's your current situation, where are you coming from, what type of knowledge do you have right now, and how can we help you be successful coming
Right.
into the gym. So if you're only here, we get a lot of military. So if you're only coming in here for 3 months, 6 months, how can you be strong enough, healthy enough, knowledgeable enough to be able to run your own workout when you go to the next gym for the next 6 months to a year? Do you love CrossFit? Do you want to get into martial arts? If not, that's okay. For me, when I'm not on the mats, it's the steel mace, and I'm able to create.
And I'm actually going to share right here. So this is actually Sammy doing. If you can see the video, you'll see it here in just a second. Coming up, maybe it'll swing. But this is basically Sammy
Yeah, so that's
swinging the mace
Quad
around.
God.
Yeah, that's a 25-pound, or it's a gata more so than a steel mace.
But it's kind of the same logic. It's like basically you're fucking Walking Dead Negan baseball time
Yeah.
kind of thing,
It's,
right? It's pretty crazy though. I mean, there's a million different flows that I've seen you do on that and stuff.
and yeah,
So
that's
it's an
the
alternative,
flow
cool
aspect.
kind of thing to do.
Yes, so when I'm not on the mats, like obviously with jiu-jitsu, there's layers and layers and layers. Same thing with with the mace. That's my jiu-jitsu off the mats, because I can create different sequences and different hand transitions, the body weight. I can create my own workout with just the body weight. Then I add the mace to it, all the hand transitions from there. Man, it's just like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And it translates right over. But like, it forces my brain to
It's a new skill.
on the
It's
sequence,
another-
on
yeah.
the complex, on the specific flow, or am I just kind of going with the flow and almost like that runner's high?
Mhm.
When you get that runner's high, you're just moving when you're in that like today we're
Zone.
Yeah, yesterday and today we're doing. I wasn't there in yesterday, but they were doing 10-minute rounds. 10
It's a
minute
fucking
rounds.
long time to roll.
Yeah, it is.
So
Sure.
you're all right. I got 10 minutes on the clock. I got to work with my opponent right now. All right,
for 10 minutes.
10.
Depending on who it is, man, it could suck.
Yeah.
How heavy is this dude? How much
Yeah.
pressure is going to give me for 10 minutes?
Right.
Or can he gas out? You know what I mean? So like it goes back to navigating through the current situations that I'm currently in.
Right.
So when you get those, when you put that sweat equity in, when you put that sweat deposit in, you're like, those chemicals are getting sent to the brain. Like, all right, it's a good stress. Now let me recover.
It really is.
Come back into the
It's
next
fun,
day
right?
and
My
keep training.
nephew threw out there. He said basically like working out for him is it's important for his mental health, happiness, and clarity. It's a good way to start his day. Absolutely, and that's kind of I work out in the evenings. That's just what I choose to.
I have to do it in the mornings myself.
Yeah, and everybody's got kind of their flow, and that's how I just like my days kind of organized, right? Like I hate getting up in the morning because I'm oftentimes up too late, and mornings suck for me, right? And that's how I've been my entire life. Like it's whatever.
Same here.
But doing the workout, figuring out the flow, like kind of going with what you need to do to make sure you're getting in it.
So over time, though, he's been able to develop some of this stuff, and maybe not dive as deep of the rabbit hole as I have, but he's been able to learn and figure out how to kind of navigate through some of that stuff.
Yeah.
He's not as those waves of depression that come through sometimes
Don't hit as hard.
hit him as hard.
Yeah.
You see him coming, kind of maybe.
Yeah. I have a mace at home. I have a couple kettlebells. I got, and
Always work out, right?
yeah, well,
That's one of the benefits.
and just the stress,
Yeah.
Well, real quick, that video that Greg shared with Sammy swinging that mace, that fucking thing is heavy as shit.
Exactly.
It's 25 pounds.
Yeah.
It's 25
But it's
pounds.
swinging around
but
and
it's
shit, though.
Guys, like if you ever want to get your grip strength up, you want to have like grandpa hands, like them,
Yeah, right.
when you shake a
strength.
Yeah, dad strength.
a dad strength, but
Yeah,
grandpa
old man
strength,
strength.
grandpa strength is
It's a thing.
way stronger than dad. They got the rugged ass hands. Man.
Dude, my grandpa's 76, and he's still out there doing concrete work.
Yeah.
Pico pala every day.
Yeah, he's got them.
Bobcat, gravel, leveling everything out, and then once comes time to pour the concrete, guiding the truck, the chute, everything, man, like just from ground level. And so my first job, just when I was like 12 years old, was concrete work in the summer for 3 months. Just
Nice.
out there.
It's
in the
fucking
heat.
rad, dude. Yeah.
Shovel, pick, leveling, gravel, all of that.
Hard
And so-
work.
Yeah, that's why he
when
has
I
a
got to
hard
the
work
AC,
ethic.
Dude, when I got to the AC working in the
Like, I'm
gym,
never gonna be back outside.
man, I miss it. I do miss it, but
Yeah.
like,
It's gratifying though.
man, yeah,
You see shit completed.
Mhm.
you accomplish a task.
Damn right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, man! I finished that.
And that's something.
So that's kind of like, for me, again, it's like Taekwondo I was pretty good at, did pretty well. And, you compete, you do all those things, but like jiu-jitsu is a little bit different even in the way I say that, or I think about this is like, even when I just pick up like a quick little shift and I'm like, fuck, that's what I've been stuck on.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't been able to close my triangle or something, because I haven't been shifting my hip like something, right? Like a anaconda choke or something like that. It's like, I wasn't deep enough. I wasn't this. And the little wins, like those little kind of insights that you pick up along the way, like you can't do this shit. It's
Yeah.
not one time. It's 50 times of not getting it right and then figuring out like the little thing that shifts, that changes it, that all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I just figured it out.
Yeah.
And I've been having trouble for fucking 6 months on this thing or whatever.
Dude,
It's
yeah.
really, and it's not about stripes. It's not about belts. It's like a reward. And
Finding
like,
that truffle.
yeah,
for
right.
sure.
That really is, and it's
that
pretty
light
fucking cool.
bulb, that aha moment.
No, yep.
It's
It's cool, right?
Yeah, like
So if you guys aren't into martial arts and you want something different to do, try any of them. Fuck, I don't care. Go
Yeah.
do judo. Go
Yeah.
do karate. Go do jujitsu.
just learning a new skill.
Learn a
That's
new
it.
skill. Yeah.
Pick something up.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Go fucking ride a bike. I don't give a shit. Just go do something. Right?
If do something hard. If it scares you, try it out.
fun, right?
You know what I mean?
Or
Like
go
we were
live.
talking about, like the first dude I ever rolled with was like big dude, and I'm like, what?
ruckus?
Yeah.
The
And I was like,
ruckus?
what the hell? And he's just laying on top of me. He's like, you're gonna do something? I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like I'm normally up on my feet if I'm sparring with somebody, right? I'm not laying underneath him.
Yeah, you're
He's 250
a
pounds.
strong dude though, man. I remember rolling with you, and I was like, "Fuck, this guy's
I
strong."
have to.
Strong as
Because there's
Greg
dudes
is
like
so
your
strong.
size.
strong as fuck, dude.
Right? But that's the alternative to not being big is you got to be
Yeah.
quick, strong, or something, some sort of combination,
Yeah,
especially
but
when you don't
keep-
have a lot of
But
skill.
you keep coming to class and getting more technique. So
Sure.
now I have to step my game up and stay a little bit more technical and like.
Goddamn
all
right.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
the goal,
like,
right? You're
Mhm.
always chasing after skills and skill
Everyone,
sets. And
everyone kind of betters themselves off each other.
That's the fun part about
Iron
it.
sharpens
That's what I really
iron.
love about it. Like I said, I only do it a couple times a week because I don't know if my body would be able to hang anymore.
2 times a week, right? You train.
Yeah, Tuesday, Thursdays. Yeah, that's fun as shit. So back in the day, like when we first met, when I went into the jujitsu or just into the gym, one of the comments you made was, and it stuck with me, is jujitsu's like for life for you, and it sounds cheesy. It kind of does. Like, fucking admit it. It sounds cheesy as shit.
Yeah.
Like jujitsu for life. Like BJJ for life. Like forever.
The 4. The number
Yeah, the 4 forever.
What the
But the cool part about it is, I can
I said
see
that
where.
to you?
Yeah.
Really?
Remember that? Cheese ball.
Sorry.
But no, I
Sorry,
mean, do
bro.
you still feel like that? I mean, like you think you think it's something you're gonna. I mean, both you guys. You think it's something you guys are gonna work on for.
I'm not going anywhere, bro.
Right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to train for life, man. Like it's. I came across it.
I'll give you $100 if you get that tattooed on you. BJJ for life. I'll buy you the tattoo.
Where though?
Like right on your forearm.
Tramp stamp.
Right.
Nah, I think that for a lot of people that are really dedicated, it's like, and not for everyone, but I've constantly get injured and shit, and so like, and just bartending and stuff, like,
You got to be on your feet.
yeah,
You gotta be
like
able to
I'm
move.
like, fuck, man, that's
You're
how
not
I make
sitting
my
in a
money.
chair all
Yeah,
day.
I can't,
Broken
You're
ankle or
injured
something.
and you're
past
out
2
of work.
injuries.
You're fucked.
Yeah, past 2 injuries have been pretty scary for me,
Yeah.
like to a point where I was like, man,
It's rough, dude.
depression was I didn't get out of bed for like 4 days. Couldn't even lift my leg up, because I thought I had a little tear. But
Yeah.
shout out to Crystal for helping me out with that, by the way. But it's for people that are serious about it, it's like fucking heroin. You're addicted. You're not going anywhere. It's like junkie for life, man.
One of the
like,
cool things, I'm sure you guys have
I'm
noticed.
sorry, I
this.
don't mean to put it that way, but you know what I mean.
I don't think I have a whole lot of heroin user.
It's just
But you get a lot of nerds in jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah,
Like, you're like,
you have a lot of there's a lot of nerds in jiu-jitsu, which is
that are very intelligent. That it's like a Rubik's cube. Like,
musicians,
like,
a lot of
oh, man.
musicians,
yeah,
like Ethan,
technically
John, Coach
technical
John.
kind of speaking people.
You know
right.
Ethan, right? Ethan?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, like, dude, man. He's a
Musician,
And, one of our guys at the gym, he donated some books. And I'm like, hey, man, we got a little library almost of some BJJ books. You want to check them out? And he was kind of telling me some of his, it's part of his training, like
Yeah.
what he was kind of having trouble with. I was like, oh, dude, take this one. And it's a 10th Planet book.
Nice.
And it was with Eddie
Yeah.
Bravo. It was,
Yep.
it was not the mastering the rubber guard one, but it was the one before that he did. And man, he dove right in. It's
cool, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a fun thing, and one of the coolest parts about like doing martial arts is the community around the folks that do it. Like when you say team, it really is a team. Like there was competition. Shouted him out on Friday night also, and the whole team or a lot of the team showed up to support them, right? And just going to the gym and having that, again, it's a community around you. I think that's important. So when we get wrapping kind of all of this stuff up, like have a community. If you need somebody to talk to, reaching out, like not being afraid to fucking talk about, like if you've got stresses going on. We all have stress, but there's different types of stresses that like some of us can deal with and some of us fucking can't, quite honestly, right? So you got to be honest about it.
Yeah.
If you're fucking having a hard time, reach out, let us know, talk to me. Message one of these guys, and we can keep going on that way. So,
Well, I think having the people like directly around you, and like knowing that, all right, cool, I can truly open up to this person.
Yeah.
is awesome. But having like when you train jiu-jitsu, like you're constantly problem solving. So yes, I'm getting my training and I'm getting the mental aspect and like I'm having
the
a problem
physical,
solve.
yeah.
Yeah, like the physiological too. It's kind of internally happening, but then you have like the emotional and almost spiritual, where I'm making a connection with my training partner. You know what I mean? Like
It is. I mean, it's as close as you can get to somebody who's grappling with them.
So if you ever travel, and if you ever go to another jiu-jitsu school, it's gonna be the same thing. Like if you talk to them, like, man, I love my training partners. You know what I mean? This is my team. This is my. So loving the people around you, definitely like keeping them close. And I mean, we're trying to rip each other's heads apart sometimes, but
all in good fun.
You're like, man, like
in good
I'm
fun.
Closer to this guy than I am with the person that I see working out, like
just lifting weights.
Deadlifts. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's different. It's definitely different.
It's personal.
Band of brothers, man.
Very personal. Yeah. So, all right. So I got 2 more questions. How many times has Coach Sean put you to sleep?
0.
Really?
Lisa has put me to sleep.
No shit. Yeah. That's awesome. And finally, between the 2 of you, who wins in a fight? 1-on-1.
Dude, this guy packs a punch, dude. So I'm gonna have to really.
He would, you know.
Choke your ass out like
he would probably arm drag
monkey.
me or like shoot for a single, and then I would
just climb up.
I would have to get him quick, but
I have to arm drag and work my way around him.
Yeah, but you know, he's choked me up a bunch of times.
He's a big dude. Yeah, I've rolled with him. So Drew, Sammy, thank you guys so much for being on. Thank you for fucking sharing your story, dude. Both you guys for sharing your story. Really appreciate it. Hey, everybody, thank you for listening. This will be out on iTunes and Spotify as well. You can check it out. Check us out at The Bars Open with Beth and Greg, of course, on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, and then YouTube and Facebook as well for the live video. So remember, go like, subscribe, go make a fire, do something good for each other. I want to shout out to all the military, first responders, all you guys. Without you guys, we can't do this. Ian, come get a beer. Evan and Haley, we miss you. And cheers. You guys have a great night. Take care. Thank you guys again. I appreciate it, man.
You guys.
Love you guys.